Hello and welcome to graduation day. Can you believe it? You're in week 6 of the Quick Map program. I am extremely proud of you. You have been living powerfully. You've committed to this course and you have stuck with it. Thank you for following through on all of your action items. Just reflect back on the last 6 weeks and think about all of the habits that are well on their way to becoming permanent. Now tell me, we're going to start this week like we always do. What is going awesome for you? Share it with the Facebook group. Let's all celebrate together. How did you do on your action items last week? Did you face any self-sabotaging behavior? Were you able to draw on your bad and nourishment menus to fulfill whatever you were needing in that moment? If you were able to draw on those resources to fulfill your need without turning toward food, that is great. Celebrate that. Think back 6 weeks ago to what you would have done if faced with the same situation. You have grown so much and have so many tools available to you now. If you struggled with self-sabotage last week, that's okay. You're still learning. Write down what you want less of. What would you like to experience instead? What were you thinking when you felt the need to self-sabotage? Just think back. There you are, and the feelings start to bubble up. What kinds of things are you doing or not doing? And what feelings and emotions went along with that? What would you like instead? And what would having that do for you? And how will you know when you have it or when you're experiencing that? Now, imagine a future version of yourself, say a month from now. You have exactly what you want. Please step into that version of you. Put your heart where her heart is and breathe into her lungs. Now imagine, what is she thinking? What is she hearing? What is she feeling? And what is she doing? And what does she know to be true? What are you thinking when you feel or have what you want? And what feelings and emotions go along with that? Really feel into those feelings and emotions. When you're struggling, do this exercise and be the future you and notice how you feel and how your emotions get uplifted. It will propel you to continue to move forward toward your goals. And as we're coming to the end of our 6 weeks, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're done. Because as you can see, you've built a lot of new habits and you have a lot of new normals. We're always a work in progress. There's no shame about being in a work in progress. I too am a work in progress. And just know how important it is to actually have support and accountability to help us notice when we fall below our surplus line or when we fall into that depletion zone. And the good news is that over time, we don't fall as hard and as fast. Like it used to be a free fall until we got sick. But notice that's probably not happening as much as it used to. But there's still room for improvement. Does that ring true for you? Good. I want to talk about a concept I call surplus as a springboard. We've been working on your new normal or a new baseline of health. And this week, I want to continue working on that baseline with you. When we get healthy and have more energy, we have an incredible opportunity to decide where we want to direct that new energy. Now, unfortunately, some people do all this work to get their surplus energy, but then spend it on things that don't really feed them, like a lot of email or social media. So I'd like to do a new exercise with you to identify where you might steer your surplus energy intentionally. Are you up for that? Great, let's do it. So I'd like to move into this, and it's what I call the life inventory exercise. And it's a really cool exercise because you're going to realize there's a lot of time to realize your dreams. And one of the things that really frustrates us when we fall into that downward depletion cycle is we get resentful of the things that we haven't been able to do, right? Like, I could be traveling. I should be having more fun. Wah. Yes, and nobody wants to get to the end of their life with regret. But in order to have a great life, we need to have that surplus. And a part of my role is to help you be in surplus so that you have the energy and the right habits set up so that there are conditions for inevitable success and enduring happiness. And you get to do all the things you wanted to and want to do in your lifetime. And whether we work together for just this 6 weeks or whether we continue on working together, we will guide you toward having exactly the life that you want. Okay, so pull out your quick map journal and the Wheel of Life exercise you received in the bonus session. From the Wheel of Life, do the areas of your life that you feel need more nourishing still hold true? Okay, good. On page 47 of your quick map journal, write down the areas of your life that need more nourishment. Okay, good. Thank you. The questions I'd like you to complete are, what are all of the things that I'd like to accomplish or complete relative to these areas of my life? So go ahead and just take 2 minutes to jot down the answers to those questions on page 48 of your quick map journal. And your answers might be like, I want to publish a book, or I want to be on the cover of Vogue. I want to speak in front of 50,000 people. I want to master the Argentine tango. Whatever it is for you that you'd like to accomplish or complete. Start a business. Find the perfect partner. I want to pay off all my parking tickets. Whatever it is, pause the video and write down as many as you can think of. Okay, welcome back. You probably noticed that the first minute you were writing madly and scribbling like, oh, there's so much to do in this lifetime. I don't even have enough paper for that. And then about the second minute, you started to slow down because you had to really start thinking about it, which is liberating because it shows that there's actually a lot of time, that life is pretty long, and there's time to accomplish all of the things that we want to accomplish. So now what I'd like you to do is go back, look at your list, and put a star next to the 3 top ones that are truly speaking to you. Just tell yourself that you'll get a chance to do all of these things if you choose, but there may be 2 or 3 that really stand out. These are the ones I like to call the magnificent obsessions. The magnificent obsessions are the ones that you feel like you've just got to do. It's not something that you wish for, but something that you want really badly. And there's a difference between wishing and wanting something. Wishing is when you desire it, but you don't really believe it's possible for you, or you don't think it's possible in your lifetime. The energy of wanting something is very different. When you want something, you may not know how, but you're willing to work on it. And it doesn't mean that it has to be hard. The perspective we're coming from here is that you can have what you want and it can manifest easily. So looking at your list, you go from wishing to wanting. The wanting piece is that there is a desire to go great within you so that you would be willing to do anything to accomplish that thing. So go ahead and put a star next to the top 3. And then we're going to circle the one that's the juiciest one for you right now at this period in your life. Now, you may have things that are super important, but they're not for the present time. I'm looking for something not in 6 months, but for right now. So write down in your quick map journal those 3 things with the star. Those are things at the top of your list. And on page 47, write down your magnificent obsessions. Great. You're on your way. So of these 3 things, which one is really pulling you at this time? Of your top 3, what's your top 1? What will having that do for you? And how does that impact your relationship with yourself? How will you know when you have that? What will you see and hear and feel? If I were to follow you around for a day, what would I see or hear or feel in you that's different than before? And what kind of things might I hear you saying? Or what thoughts might you be thinking to yourself? Thank you. And what might you be feeling when you're experiencing this in the way you want it the most? When and where would you like to be experiencing this? And with whom? And what support do you think you might need to accomplish this? Thank you. So to make sure that you have this down, that your subconscious has heard this, I want you to say that one thing at the top of your magnificent obsessions, your number 1. Say it out loud. That sounds pretty great. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this to you? Let's say in the next 3 months. At least to be on track of achieving it. Beautiful. So what is one thing that if you implement it in the next 7 days that will have moved you toward this goal? Write that down in your quick map journal. One thing that will move you toward your goal. Now I want to set you up for success. What you've written down, is it realistic? Is it doable? Because we're setting you up for inevitable success. So make it a realistic action in the next 7 days. Okay, so we're going to test this out. Here you are. It's the next 7 days, sometime between now and next week, and you're implementing an action to move you forward. Imagine yourself doing this action. Put yourself in that future you. What are you experiencing? Describe it using all of your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What are you feeling? Is there a taste? Who are you with? What are you saying? Put yourself in that future you. Just imagine yourself. Okay, you can come on back. And now you're sitting there and your action is coming up on your calendar. What's the first thought that comes to your mind when you see that? Awesome. That's exactly what I want you to cue up in your mind, that it's linked to a reward. So feeling those feelings of confidence and accomplishment and that it was possible, draw on that as motivation. Because there's probably going to be a test at some point. Maybe not the first time you try it, but at some point there may be a test that, no, I'll feel better if I do this instead of my action. And that I'm going to do this instead of that has been habituated. That's what the past you did. That's an old habit. We're moving toward having new habits around the anticipation of reward that comes from your new actions and your new habits. That's where the motivation comes from. And that's where it becomes actually the thing that doesn't get sacrificed if it's at the top of the priority list and the most important thing. And how might this new habit stand to impact your work or other aspects of your life? Great. I appreciate you playing with me there because, sometimes when I do this exercise with a client, the client will say, well, what I really want is, and it is something completely different comes about after doing this exercise. The initial thing that what they thought they wanted isn't really what they wanted in the end. So thank you for doing that. I know we're coming to the end of our time working together in this program, but what I may not have told you in the beginning is that this is really just the start. As you continue on this journey, I'm here to help you with your next step, with the other areas of your life that need more nourishment. In the last 6 weeks, we've done some exceptional work. You've accomplished so many things working with me in this Quick Mac program. I know we've had a great experience together. You have laid a significant foundation. You weren't talking this way 6 weeks ago. But now that you are, we can have a very different conversation. And that has to do with those little inner gremlin voices where you're having issues or still getting stuck. And now you're saying that you want to change another habit and have another experience that you defined in your Wheel of Life and life inventory exercise. So I'm glad you're thinking that way, because while this may be the end of this online course, there's a whole nother world out there that I'd love to introduce you to. And it's all about you looking at your other desires and shifting those inner voices and claiming your personal power. You see, you couldn't have seen this before because you weren't at a point you could learn about it. You hadn't laid your groundwork yet. But now you're at a point in your transformation where it will make more sense to you because you know that with small, actionable steps, you can achieve goals that you set out for yourself. So think about what else you want to upgrade in your life and document that on page 49 of your Quick Map journal. I invite you to schedule a complimentary coaching session to discover your next step. Contact me today to schedule our time together. I want to thank you for your trust in me and for your trust in yourself. You made such great progress. Continue to put yourself first. You are always at the top of your priority list. Continue all the actions you've been learning throughout this 6-week journey and solidify those habits as they become who you are, what you do. I would love for you to share your aha moments in the Facebook group about what you discovered in this course. Share your successes and also share where you struggled. The more we support each other, the more we all grow. If you found this course useful, I would love for you to provide a video testimonial describing your experience, because it is my intention to help as many women as possible jumpstart their healthy eating habits. You can do that right from your camera on your phone and just send it to me via Messenger. Thank you so much. I can't wait to speak with you on your complimentary coaching session to discover your next step. Congratulations on your graduation. Congratulations on all your brand new habits. I am so proud of you. Thank you so much for your trust in me. Goodbye.